محمد وآله وأصحابه وبارك وسلم. صلى الله على حبيبه محمد وآله وأصحابه وبارك وسلم. صلى الله على حبيبه محمد وآله وأصحابه وبارك وسلم. سورة الإنشاء شريف. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب. سورة الإخلاص شريف. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. سورة الفاتحة شريف. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. درود شريف. صلى الله على حبيبه محمد وآله وأصحابه وبارك وسلم. صلى الله على حبيبه محمد وآله وأصحابه وبارك وسلم. صلى الله على حبيبه محمد وآله وأصحابه وبارك وسلم. آية كريمة. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. درود شريف. صلى الله على حبيبه محمد وآله وأصحابه وبارك وسلم. صلى الله على حبيبه محمد وآله وأصحابه وبارك وسلم. صلى الله على حبيبه محمد وآله وأصحابه وبارك وسلم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا إله إلا الله 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 محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. يا الله يا الله يا الله يا الله يا الله يا الله يا عزيز يا عزيز يا عزيز يا عزيز يا عزيز يا عزيز يا ودود يا ودود. يا أكا يا حي يا قيوم يا حي يا قيوم يا حي يا قيوم يا حي يا قيوم أكا حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير أكا يا قاضي الحاجات يا قاضي الحاجات يا قاضي الحاجات يا قاضي الحاجات أكا يا دافع البليات يا دافع البليات يا دافع البليات يا دافع البليات أكا يا حل المشكلات يا حل المشكلات يا حل المشكلات يا حل المشكلات أكا يا كافي المهمات يا كافي المهمات يا كافي المهمات يا كافي المهمات أكا يا شافي الأمراض يا شافي الأمراض يا شافي الأمراض يا شافي الأمراض أكا يا منزل البركات يا منزل البركات يا منزل البركات يا منزل البركات أكا يا مسبب الأسباب يا مسبب الأسباب يا مسبب الأسباب يا مسبب الأسباب أكا يا رافع الدرجات يا رافع الدرجات يا رافع الدرجات يا رافع الدرجات أكا يا مجيب الدعوات يا مجيب الدعوات يا مجيب الدعوات يا مجيب الدعوات أكا يا أمان الخائفين يا أمان الخائفين يا أمان الخائفين يا أمان الخائفين أكا يا خير الناصرين يا خير الناصرين يا خير الناصرين يا خير الناصرين أكا يا دليل المتحيرين يا دليل المتحيرين يا دليل المتحيرين يا دليل المتحيرين أكا يا غياث المستغيثين أغثنا يا غياث المستغيثين أغثنا يا غياث المستغيثين أغثنا يا غياث المستغيثين أغثنا أكا يا مفرح المحزونين يا مفرح المحزونين يا مفرح المحزونين يا مفرح المحزونين أكا رب إني مغلوب فانتصر رب إني مغلوب فانتصر رب إني مغلوب فانتصر رب إني مغلوب فانتصر أكا يا الله يا رحمن يا رحيم يا أرحم الراحمين يا الله يا رحمن يا رحيم يا أرحم الراحمين يا الله يا رحمن يا رحيم يا أرحم الراحمين أكا تسع كلمات تمجيد سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. اللهم استرني بسترك الجميل. اللهم استرني بسترك الجميل. اللهم استرني بسترك الجميل. اللهم استرني بسترك الجميل. أقدر شريف صلى الله على حبيبه محمد وآله وصحبه وبارك وسلم. صلى الله على حبيبه محمد وآله وصحبه وبارك وسلم. صلى الله على حبيبه محمد وآله وصحبه وبارك وسلم. صلى الله على حبيبه محمد وآله وصحبه وبارك وسلم.
آمين اللهم ربنا آمين. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. या अल्लाह पाक इज्जत में ख्वाजगान शिदा स्वाब हजूर नबी करीम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम दी खिदमत दे विच हदियतन तोहफतन पेश किया जाता है। आप दे तफैल जमील अंबिया शुहदा सालिहीन नक्शबंदिया सरवरदिया चिश्तिया कादरिया अवैसिया खानदाना दे बुजुर्गान दी मुबारकां नु बचाई। जमील मोमिनीन जमील मोमिनात जमील मुस्लिमीन जमील मुस्लिमात या अल्लाह पाक जो मुसलमान मर्द औरत जिन हो गुजरे ने जोहर जो होंगे सब दिया रूह बरकन पहुँचाई। बिलखसूस किबराए आलम हुजूर गौसे ज़मा खुतबे दौरान ताजदार तसव्वुफ हुजूर ख्वाजा फैज़ आलम वाली शाहपुर शरीफ रहमतुल्लाह अलैह दिनों बारों पहुँचाई। या अल्लाह पाक आप रूहानियत सदके तना तमाम दोस्तों ने कोई मुश्किलात आसान अता फरमाई। ज़हरी बातिनी बीमारियों तो शिफा अता फरमाई। या अल्लाह पाक शर शैतान शर ज़ालिमाती महफूज रखी। या अल्लाह पाक शर नफ्स शर दुनिया की महफूज रखी। या अल्लाह पाक गैरान दे दरवाजे तो अटा कि आपने ही दरवाजे ते खरा रखी। या अल्लाह पाक कुल आलम में इस्लाम दा बोलबाला फरमाई। खुसूसी पाकिस्तान की सलामती को बरकरार रखी। या अल्लाह पाक जो मुसलमान इस मुल्क में आए ने सारे ने दीन इस्लाम पे चलने वाला बनाई। या अल्लाह पाक तमाम दोस्त तेरे हवाले तेरे स्पुर्द हैं। तमाम दोस्तों की दस्तगीरी फरमाई। या अल्लाह पाक बिलखसूस फ़लस्तीन के मुसलमानों तेरे मुकरम फरमाई। या अल्लाह पाक उन्हें भी मदद अता फरमाई। या अल्लाह पाक हुजूर किबला हज़रत साहब के दर्जात बुलंद फरमाई। आप दे फैज़ान दे सारे आलम को रोशन ते मुनव्वर फरमाई। आप रूहानी सैयद सदे सनम पर हमेशा कायम व दायम रखी। आप सफर व बाखरीत और सर अंजाम फरमाई। या अल्लाह पाक हुजूर अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम की उम्मत की इस्लाह फरमाई। या अल्लाह पाक हुजूर अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम की उम्मत की हाथ मेहरबानी फरमाई। या अल्लाह पाक हुजूर अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम की उम्मत को शादी अता फरमाई। उनसुरना फइन्नका खैरुन नासिरीन वफ्तह लना फइन्नका खैरुल फातिहीन वग़फिर लना फइन्नका खैरुल गाफिरीन वरहमना फइन्नका खैरुर राहिमीन वरज़ुकना फइन्नका खैरुर राज़िकीन वहफ़ज़ना फइन्नका खैरुल हाफ़िज़ीन वहदिना वनज्जिना मिनल क़ौमिज़ ज़ालिमीन वसल्लल्लाहु अला हबीबिही मुहम्मद व आलिही व अस्हाबिही अजमाइन रहमतिका या अरहमर राहिमीन। Can all the friends close your eyes, concentrate on your heart, breathe in saying Allah, breathe out saying Hu, and quietly listen to the Shaja Shif.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألا إن أولياء الله لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون الذين آمنوا وكانوا يتقون. नक्शे बंदे आलम नक्शे मुराबन नक्शे चुना बबन के गोयन नक्शबंद। या अल्लाह मैं बोता सी नाल खतावा बरिया फजल करे ते बख्शिश पावा तेरी शान किबरिया। तेरी ज़ात करीम खुदाया साड़ियाँ बख्श खतावां सदका पाक मुहम्मद सरवर सदका कुल औलियावां अबू बकर सदीक प्यारे शाह सलमान हकानी इमाम कासिम ते जाफर सादिक ख्वाजा जी बुस्तामी अबू अल हसन ते अबू अली प्यारे ते यूसुफ हमदानी अब्दुल खालिक ख्वाजा आरिफ शाह महमूद फगनावी अजीज अली तस्मासी बाबा मीर कुलाला सानी शाहबाउद्दीन अत्तार बुखारी व महबूब गरामी सैयद मोहम्मद याकूब चुरखी उबैदुल्लाह मोहम्मद जाहिद रक्षानी दरवेश मोहम्मद ख्वाजा अमकंगी बाकी बिल्लाल आसानी हजरत इमाम मुजद्दिद साहिब शाह मासूम मेवारी हुज्जतुल्लाह जुबैर मोहम्मद अशरफ शाह बुखारी हाफिज सैयद जमालुल्लाह मोहम्मद ईसा फैजुल्लाह तेराई हजरत ख्वाजा नूर मोहम्मद फकीर मोहम्मद चुराई मैं बारी मैं सदके जावा जिंदरी गोल गुमावा हाफिज अब्दुल करीम प्यारे महबूब कुलौरियावा सोना नाम मुबारक हजरत ख्वाजा सूफी नवाबुद्दीन अल्लाह प्यारा जिस दे जरिए रब रोशन कीता ए जमाना सारा एक नजर करम दी कर दे हजरत ख्वाजा सूफी मोहम्मद असलम अल्लाह प्यारा जिस दे जरिए रब रोशन कीता एशिया और सारा वावा सोना शादपुर वाला वावा सोनिया नाजा सोबत मजलिस पीर मेरे दी कर दे महरम मराजा हजरत ख्वाजा सूफी मोहम्मद असगर असलमी फैज लुटावे मुर्दा दिल जिंदा हो जावन ऐसा जाम पिलावे दीन दुनी दे कम तमामी फजलो आप सवारी नाल इन्ना उलिया बारबा जिस हशर उठावी आज इसते मस्कीन नी माने मंगदे हरदम में हो दुआएं या रब मदनी ते शादपुर वाला दिल तीना बुलावे अल्लाह 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 Allah
اللهم صل على سيدنا صل على محمد जलवा फिगन हुए हजूर रोशन ज़माना हो गया सल्ले अला हजूरना सल्ले अला मुहम्मदिन सल्ले अला नूरना सल्ले अला मुहम्मदिन
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Alhamdulillah. All praises are for Allah. Allah Ta'ala has given us a chance to come again and sit together and do His Zikr, and He gives us the tawfiq to send the bark upon His most beloved Hazur Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Alhamdulillah. We have been taught this, given this gift of having to do the remembrance of Allah and the love of Hazur Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is definitely because of connecting ourselves with the great man of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our Mustafa Kareem, whose only motive in life is getting others to do Allah. You know, they concentrate on the young, mid-aged, old-aged, but they love it when young people, they dress themselves in the sunnah of Hazur Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, head to toe, they keep beards. You know, you see that khushiyah of Hazur Qibla is when someone young devotes themselves to Islam. You know, these are the things where this is one of the biggest sunnahs, is spreading the deen of Hazur Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Alhamdulillah. Over the last couple of days, I had a few the Mehfils in the different places where the Muslim Sufi Qasem from Blackburn, who only just come back from very intense kind of tour of 4 different countries, different cities in Europe, and then we went together to one of the main cities in Europe, is London. And when you got to London via Peterborough as well, and went to London in the morning. Sufi Qasem had a bit of an appointment in the city. We were bang on in the middle heart of the city, and I just dropped him off and I come back and I went to a shop. In London it's very hard, you know, like you can't tell who. I didn't know to say Assalamu Alaikum to the shopkeeper. My first glance I didn't even know if it was him or what it was. Anyway, I went to get what I got, I come to the counter, and he goes, "Brother, where are you from?" So especially with his accent, I thought, this guy, I don't know where he's from. Could be from India, could be from anywhere. And, you know, he had a quite Savla complex. I go, I'm from Manchester. So the accent I gave him, he was quite reluctant now. I've seen his face that he was on his back foot thinking, I'm not to ask him any further where do I originate from. But I said it myself. I go, but originally I'm from Pakistan. My parents are from Pakistan, but I live in Manchester. He goes, Acha, Pakistan kaun si jagah se? So he started speaking Urdu to me. I was happy, got really happy. He goes, bye. When he walked into the shop, he speaks to me in Urdu. When he walked into his shop, I was absolutely amazed. Because I've been here since February. And he's in a part of London where he's on the other side of the Thames, where probably the less Muslim community. And I was absolutely amazed. He said, Aapki style, he goes, Aapka libas, you know, like, it was absolutely, you know, amazing. He was mesmerized and talking to me. And he goes, then I started thinking straight away that in this country, how's he doing this? Because I've been here since February, seen nothing like it. He goes, in Pakistan, I've seen things like this. And he goes, since February, you've just reminded me that, like, what kind of mahol am I in? He goes, I'm not seeing nothing like this. He goes, you know, and to say that, you know, like, I told him I'm born and bred here. He goes, it's just absolutely amazing, you know, beautiful. You know. I've got a proper king behind me. Yeah. I go, he's something guy, because he said something like, he goes, because I've been told that when you see somebody's chehra, and if they remind you, I'll go, look, that's nigah. Yeah, it's the nigah, that Allah Wali's nigah, that's how this guy said this to me, that I seen your face and the way you walked into the shop, and it straight away reminded me of Allah. And he referred back to the hadith that when you see somebody, the awliya's nishani is when you see somebody's face and remind you of Allah. I go, this is the powerful nigah. Imagine you see the man that's doing this to me. Then 100% your heart will give away that is someone of Allah. And you also do that later on in the day, after we did what we are to do in the city, we went to Ilford, we went in the masjid. We read namaz in the masjid, and as we were coming out, there's a guy, and in the doorway of the masjid, he asked us a question. He kind of caught us off guard, but alhamdulillah, he goes, what's the favourite smell of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Yeah, but alhamdulillah, because Zikr had the guy back, I said the favourite smell of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our fasting person. He goes, wow. He goes, you're the first guy. I always ask this question. And I thought he was asking for his own knowledge, or he was asking to test us. Yeah? But alhamdulillah, he goes, you're the first guy. By the time I answered this question, properly people start thinking about that one, they start saying Urdu, whatever he said. And he goes, there is, he goes, it's not a smell that he's sensing in their nose. It's like an odor. It's what somebody carries. It's that smell. And he goes, I smelled that smell in the masjid. And I was looking around and I knew it was coming from you two guys. Yeah? And he goes, I smell that smell of a fasting person. And he explained himself. But alhamdulillah, this is all because of Pichani Gawa. It's a Zikr, this has spirituality that has changed us and put us in that way where we're traveling for the Rizal of Allah, we're doing things for the Rizal of Allah. We want to do more, we want to do that work. What Zikr wants us to do, what favourite thing is that kisa ki Allah ne raste la chhuru. Yeah, Hazur Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam Muhammad us dil jabal ho jaye. It's a beautiful feeling when you do that to people. And later on, we had a Mehfil, and alhamdulillah, that's Baram, Nojawan, all most of you guys, Nojawan guys, yeah. And been trying with them for quite a while, but just because of the distance and alhamdulillah, I slipped in this Mehfil yesterday, and alhamdulillah, it was a very good Mehfil. They did Changi Muhabbat pesh ki thi, everything, and they were happy. They were really happy. The first time they've actually sat in a house Mehfil. I've been trying to pull up to the big Mehfils in London, but in the house Mehfil, and they sat through all the Mehfil, and they were all happy. Like no one had and because the way that I've been trying to tell them with words, they don't know what they were going to get themselves into. But once they sat in the Mehfil, and we did the Mehfil, the Zikr Mehfil, the way our Mahmoud is, the Khatmi Khwajgan Sharif, the Shajra Sharif, the Durood Sharif, Kalme Zikr, they loved it. All of them. Alhamdulillah, inshallah, Allah Ta'ala give them that tawfiq to grasp this properly and give that is the istiqamat as well, all of the istiqamat. Allah Ta'ala make our Zikr Sahab suffer asan and yeah, alhamdulillah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah, once again we're blessed to be sat in the Mehfil Zikr, where we're able to make the Zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and send through the Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And like Sahib mentioned that this companionship, this nisbat with the Nekbak people, the most important thing we've been given is to implement and practically follow Islam and then pass that on to others as well. That when we sit with the men of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when we sit with Qibla Hazrat Sahib, they don't tell us about Islam in the way that they tell us this and then they give us a whole lecture about Islam. They practically show Islam to us in their character, in their actions. And when you spend time with Qibla Hazrat Sahib and you travel with Hazrat Sahib, you see that character of the sunnahs of the Prophet ﷺ in them. The way that the Prophet ﷺ showed the Sahaba Ikram how to conduct themselves, that's how we see Qibla Hazrat Sahib conduct themselves. And like Sahib mentioned about that person who saw him and said that the quite famous hadith that the distinction of a man of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is when you see him, you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That when Nachiz went with Qibla Hazrat Sahib to Dubai I think it was last year, and in that it wasn't like a lot of time spent there. in the same way they're doing lots and lots of Mehfils. There was one Mehfil on one of the days, we got to the Mehfil, and as soon as it was one Christian lady, and she saw Qibla, after that she goes, I want to accept Islam. And there and then she accepted Islam. And that's the true, distinction of a man of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you see him, you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That so many people, they've been given the tawfiq of entering Islam. The people who are away from Islam get closer to their deen because of these nekbak people, because of their good character. There's so many times that people, there was one River brother, and he said one main thing, and he said, out of all the amazing things I see in the Mehfils and in Qibla Hazrat, he goes, the most important thing and most beautiful thing is their simplicity, their humbleness. They act as if they're a normal person, but they've changed thousands and thousands of people's lives across the globe. And even now when they sit with us, they sit as though they are a friend. They welcome in such a way that, I can remember that when we used to go to Qibla Hazrat, to Alder Street, just around the corner, and we used to see Qibla Hazrat sometimes. They would come over and they would present us with, kajur, pani. They used to bring the stuff out for us. And it goes to show in this time and age of people showing off, people having this sort of persona where they want to show themselves as big, or not having that same humility, that we have the nisbat of those nekbak people who stay humble, show that true ikhlaq of the Prophet ﷺ. Like Qibla Hazrat often said that the tree that bears the most fruit is the one that's lowered. And truly that's the most amazing lesson we learned, that the more closer we get to deen, the more humble we should be, and the more we should follow Islam in the way that when we see others in the wrong path, invite them. Don't say stuff against them. Invite them to the deen with love and affection. So may Allah Ta'ala give us the ability to follow Qibla Hazrat's footsteps, give Qibla Hazrat a long and healthy life, and keep Najib Muhammad.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah, it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's great blessing that once again we're making his remembrance and sending the Durud and Salams upon the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and sitting in the companionship of the good people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states in the Quran Pak that there should be a group amongst you that invites people towards goodness and helps them to stay away from evil, and it's those people that are the successful people. And in this time and age, and generally a person can help people in many different ways. If you're going through a financial struggle and somebody lends you some money and protects you from the difficulties that are coming your way, you feel indebted to that person and you feel like that person owes you a lot. If, as you see nowadays in the media, your house is under threat, your business is under threat, and somebody comes and protects you, you feel a big debt to that person because it's protected you in the physical world. But the biggest gift, the biggest help you can give anybody isn't just to protect them from hardships and calamities in the dunya, is to protect them from the temptations of the shaitan in this life, and to help them and protect them from the fire of hell in the hereafter. And alhamdulillah, that's the fikr Zikr Hazrat have given to us, that wherever you go in life, whoever you might be, constantly have that purpose and that motivation that you want to invite people towards goodness and righteousness and prohibit evil around you. And we see that is what drives Zikr Hazrat. Otherwise, why else would they make such strenuous journeys in the mountains? Those may have seen the videos walking uphill for 20 minutes. We go Relating Pike and we come back aching our legs and sitting down for a whole week later. Hazrat Sahab's age is almost 70 and they're undertaking these long journeys, traveling around the world, no worry for themselves at all. And the purpose for that is because that fikr that they have for the Ummah of the Prophet ﷺ, that they'll go to any length possible to help guide another person to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there's nothing greater than that. Helping anyone in any situation in the dunya is a great thing, but there's nothing better than helping that person who's on the path towards the fire of hell and taking him from that path and putting him on the path towards Huzur Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That once when Huzur Qibla Hazrat, they met one Maulana Sahab, and he said that when he was young, about 12 years old, he either did a ziyarat or he did bad of Huzur Zari Zarbakh wa Rasul Nabuddin Sahab. When he saw Hazrat Sahab, he saw the Mehfil, he saw this mahol, he couldn't control himself. That Josh just about overcame him. And he goes to Hazrat Sahab, that in that Josh he goes to Hazrat Sahab, I want to travel with you as well. And Hazrat Sahib was like, Maulana Sahib, are you sure you can travel with us? Are you sure you can handle this? It's not what you might be thinking where you travel for a bit, you have a nice long rest, you have a nice meal, then you might do a small speech and you have a nice long rest again, then you go home. Our travel isn't like that. But because that Josh overcame him, he goes to Hazrat Sahib, I'm with you. And at that time, Hazrat Sahib was going to Sumpa in Kashmir as well. And the person who invited Hazrat Sahib, he invited them to the top of a mountain. And there's a proper mountain as well. And similar to the videos you see, the roads are very narrow, the van was on the edge of the mountain at points. And he was nervous, he was shaking. Like he was eating the kalima, reading all sorts of du'as on this journey. And he goes to Sufi Ashraf Sahib, are you terrified as well? And they were laughing. They were laughing. He was like, what's wrong with you? Do you guys not have any family to go back to? I'm terrified here. Why are you guys laughing in the middle of all of this? And they were laughing even more. He couldn't understand what's going on. He was terrified to come out of the car at times and say, I'm not sitting in the minibus. And eventually sit back. When he was on top of the mountain, his jazba was switched. He goes, the Prophet Miraj was in Ramakan. My Miraj on top of this mountain. He goes, what I'm feeling here, I can't describe. He pulled out 500 rupees. He goes, I give this as a reward to the driver for getting us safely up here. When I go back to my town of Lodhana, I'm going to sacrifice a goat in the way of Allah Ta'ala for safely bringing me here and back. And I'm also announcing, this is my last trip as a son. I'm not traveling again with them. But meaning to say that, look at that great sacrifice as a son make. Because in our path, we don't worry about our life, we don't worry about our wealth. The only fikr we have is the Ummah of the Prophet ﷺ. They go to the Maulana Sahib that when you come with those, there's two options, Shaheed or Ghazi. There's no turning back. Well, you can imagine all the way on top of that mountain, such a long journey, such a difficult journey, such a tiring journey, and there's only one family living on there. There's a huge jalsa there, there's thousands of people, just a small couple of families. But Hazrat Sahib went that length to invite people towards goodness. And that's the fikr that they put inside our hearts. And inviting people towards goodness doesn't always have to be through speeches and words. You don't have to stand on the mic and lecture people for hours on end. Hazrat Sahib teaches to do that through our practical kirdar, through your way of life, through your conduct. Whether that's even opening the door for somebody, holding the door for somebody, whether that's doing small little actions like that. When you've got a Dari Mubarak, you've got Taj on your head, you've got Topi on your head, when people see you and they notice you're different, they know it's because of Islam. And they know it's because you've got a nisbat with somebody very special. And alhamdulillah, we are very fortunate in this time and age, we've got such a beautiful Islam. At the time of Zikr, very often hear that story where that youngster tried to bring that lady towards Islam and she was having any of it. She was still saying, I'm not satisfied. Eventually, brought her to Zikr Alam were eating. And she goes to them, why do you sit on the floor and eat? Why don't you sit on a table and chair? And Qibla Alam said to her that you can sit on a table and chair, but my Prophet preferred to sit on the floor and eat. I too like to sit on the floor and eat. Then she goes, why are you eating with your fingers? Why don't you use a spoon? Hazrat Qibla Alam responded in this way, you can eat with a spoon, a knife and fork if you like. My Prophet preferred to eat with their fingers. I too like to eat with my fingers. She turned around to his friend and she goes to Mr. Rashid, you've been trying to explain Islam to me for 6 months. I've not been satisfied. I've seen this man of Allah Ta'ala and now I'm totally satisfied. And Hazrat Qibla was saying a few years ago that one of her son-in-laws or relatives, he came into the halqa. Even now, at that time, she was living in Spain. She's a Muslim. Her children are Muslim, her grandchildren are also Muslim. Why? Because she saw that Islam in the man of Allah Ta'ala. Qibla Alam explained to her, this is what Islam teaches, this is the science in the Quran, this is the wisdom behind it, this is the Prophet Islam. They showed her Islam. And that's what Islam teaches in this time and age where sometimes it's not practical, it's difficult to talk to people about Islam. But when you practically show them, it's the best way to convince somebody that Islam is the truth. And alhamdulillah, we are very blessed as Hazrat Qibla have made us and given us such an easy platform where all they say to us is keep on coming and going from the Mehfils. And by doing so, we get everything good in this life and the hereafter. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant Qibla a safe journey throughout Pakistan. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all the ability to practice upon what He has said.